the youth are going through a lot. I mean, more a lot of challenges. Now, I bedu baby, and I don't blame them too much.
Okay.
Because I feel say adebia no wona shase. And we live in is a life of cause and effect.
Sure.
So
sure.
Na sisia no na yehu sunsuanso a yehu no the effect. But we can't just look at the effect because there is a cause. And to know ehun hia say ye be hwe nenti a aba no se na aba ni.
But we probably copied blindly same freedom rights enti ehono ye mbo chem so like ye shepi ba enti odemu
na enye no kreda.
Whoa.
Enye no kre. You see, and no na yeah, say you're very, very careful. Because sometimes I didn't be oha na ye can't no. And your first hand knowledge.
Sure.
And your first hand information. And I think say no kra na how you for no be brave.
Perception.
Yes. You know, we perceive say oh sanet here, but antisada.
Okay. It is saying, when so opportunities be bree, ewa braboya yeboyim. But ene nipa do no so bra, omo hunu sa opportunities ne fanye adwuma. We are aware say, emrantie ene mabawa, we yenye pen so, omo bre pa. Den na ama na kwako wie sa manu nti, opportunities e twa ye ho ahia yi, omo ntimi tap into it. From my point of view, I think values. Since omo lack sa values niti, ama womu hunu kura e na oma peja tokuro no e de akwa akwhyem. Me pa ochewo. O abrante bia ye nkomo we nti e na edi. O ababa we bia nti na edi. Fre no ana share ma no na wonti bi. Medase. Medin. Nana ya konedu. I talk life. I said no and live well. Mama nasi. Bebe siya. Yadasi. Ene me wo menua George Kyere. Me who address am fema no, but I can say or a change agent. TNA. Ibi ane so ba so. Uncle George Sheshia.
Nana.
Na nema mu te say.
Na me adom Bible. We are call.
E de radiase. Adwuma mu so e.
Na me adom ye kisun kakra.
Where dion? Computer any like digital space no. U feel say a ish for ene abrante anababawa.
Nana, yes. CCI no ye wo technological way era.
Yeah.
And ya bedum pempenso bi a in fact ye ntimi nko ye chibi. Na eno anso so na in fact nsisanye bia eba wiase ana ze abrabomu no eno ana CCI no ye be yusu.
Okay.
Because amaya be hu ni a ye betimi aye. Say kaneno na normal bi wo ha it was so manual. And I say we put in so much time and effort. But you see, it's an computer, you know. I remember life na brabona be easy kakra. Net me my normal baby and so. And I feel say a biggest opportunity in a lifetime.
I just love your skills. I just love o profession no. Me manage ho, especially so the younger ones no more the techniques woman. Ya na many so pa. It's one of these days. You better that space so that you empower the next generation more.
Yes, of course. I'll be willing to do that because I mean, aboa mi bebre, and I be akwenya so bebre amame, and ade ami damakuma so because I feel say nyame adom, you know, baby nyame aye adom ne baby odi abesi ehun hia says ye twa yani ehwe, you know, maya ne mranti a moba no na ebia ye mistakes aye na yesua na yetimi di guide omo yetimi bo omo na omo so omo ntimi empage omo if just na okan no the youth are going through a lot. I mean a lot of challenges now. Abedu baby and I don't blame them too much.
Okay.
Because I feel say ade bia no wona shase. And we live in a life of cause and effect.
Sure.
So
sure.
Na sisia no na yehu sunsuanso a yehu no the effect. But we can't just look at the effect because
without
there is a cause. And to know ehun hia say ye behwe nentia abano se na abani. Now, because me growing up as a young guy, I mean, I grew up in the church.
Church boy.
Church boy.
Proper church boy.
Yeah, church boy. And Ebuame, you know, although no mabinuma and koye, because me feel say, Nana, there are three things that I have come to know in this life. Say, which my muya. We share your community and it's an normal na. We family, and education, and religion. These are the three core structures that influence the society. So we say normal me and somewhere. And the family values, educational values, and religion. I mean, you know, Christopher. And you know, some normal way family values ubenya ofie, you know, uko school so values are ebe instill wo mu.
Sure.
And akwa assurance so na oba akwa konya ho. And today bia na make can say so we sa three structures way. Debe na see here because ye nyina somehow some shape or form no ya fa sa structures yi mu before ye benyi.
Yeah.
And you know, see then na say ya famua your family, we belong to a family. Yeah, we belong to a church. School kakra. So after all these three, one will expect say, enka
believe some
and
righteous,
right, under the right path. But it looks as if said, yes, it says yes,
so yenya femu, you are a church boy, and I be a church man. You are still in the church. I'm a church girl. Maybe a church woman. I'm still in the church. And then we have a lot of church boys, church girls. But we don't see much of them in the world that you want to say or more excel, or more values be do or more some pedestal like because this is encouraging. This is the Christ-like. These are the benefits of having a Christian values, family values, and this. What are these guys missing now?
But I see. And it starts from the home. You know, it starts from the home.
Okay.
Because the biame de me hu yen fantom kakra. Say me wo ba boy. Na throughout my studies, you know, like I'm grateful to my parents, my papa, you know, at least omo provide it. But now me who say, tell me, you know, now I have so much questions.
Okay.
You know, as a young boy, maybe 10, 12, now me what questions be brave. But essence na your culture and you know, now I didn't have a face-to-face, one-on-one relationship with my papa. Say bibi hamia mekwa kwa bisano. Wow, atume boase because some reno say we are crap. So you kept things to yourself.
You were not able to ask right questions.
No. And I think it's a cultural issue. Now, uko assurance so I faced the same challenge.
Okay.
I had a lot of questions. You want because me know say near my Sunday school, and me in my house, you were compelled to go to Sunday school. Right? And of course, we get a Bible. So that, it instilled that say we read the Bible, no. And me say me read the Bible now, and Chasia na me no. Sometimes I quite sorry I struggle with it. And church I near the mommy was sorry. Any Bible no say na me read it, no. But then once again, I couldn't ask questions. Now mean to me enko bisa. It was not so much of a challenge.
Okay.
But I didn't mean to. But what I realized is that sometimes, and once again, it goes back to the culture. Because in front of you, a crown question now, obisano.
I am prewasem.
It's a be able to a bossy. Wow, now, so nim crana. What you make a okay, wait there, be a me niho answer, and Tino Mammy Mrekakra. Na mean Shishimu, na metimia in Repemon, may you ano. They'll push you away. Like, a lot of young people get discouraged. And that's also my moi. In fact, me yanom no yami adom ya chinkakra. To ushe different cultures, which will be this a more culture. If I may abrofo namfufo, I must study your mopa. And they are very, very intentional.
Very, very
intentional about their family.
About their family.
Family. Very, very intentional.
But we probably copied blindly, same. Freedom, right, inti hono yembochem so like yen shepi ba inti odemu.
Nana enye no creda.
Whoa.
Enye no cred. You see, and no na. Yeah, say you're very, very careful. Because sometimes I didn't be oha na yeah cultural no. And your first-hand knowledge.
Sure.
And your first-hand information. And I think say no cry na how you for no be brave.
Perception.
Yes. We perceive say oh sanet here, but antisada.
Okay.
Antisada. In fact, so uko amanonia abi before any abrofotia. In our family settings, abrofoni are more successful than ever before.
How?
Because there is this perception, before feel say, oh, we have freedoms. And tinibeti me aye, say na ye pebia. But me now for abrofo amenium no. Na so call mufia. No, you can't just do anything anyhow.
Really?
That is not how it is. No. In their homes, that is not how they operate.
Okay. How do they operate?
Okay. And and almost once again, it's an say culture, a generational way I pass it on.
Okay.
Because most of them, I have heard them repeatedly. Obeka say my grandfather. Obi was my grandfather na say, me nana na say, me nana na say. Ntu timi say ade na ono ene oye no osua free baby.
A foundation was laid. And I'll build it on.
Sir. Ni nananom as to sa foundation no. And ono sesi ano original sa foundation a ya build no. And odi no so oye den odi sini there. And and they know a first hand to them.
So a calculated, conscious, what have you over time?
Yes.
And now almost build it on.
Sir.
You see, enyumampo, you need succession plans for enyuma. Most of your young boys and girls, and our young men and women, you see, say they are struggling.
That's true.
Or ideas, as you say, ideas no cry, a year kama, obetimi ako. On what foundation is he building on? Or start a foundation? No. Now say or start here with what values? Are you so porous an environment for them? Enti onya idea numpa. Enya monetary asem na maker. How to get it right?
Yeah.
Na a problem. So yen start to say from the family system, from the church system, from educational system, we need to work. From the family system, what does families need to do to help the young one build on some values or principles to thrive?
Yeah, Nana. So, in fact, I think the family, no, a hona juma no, a war. You know, it's that sabi a war akrabia a won't to a busi. And ti a ho and a juma no. Because I say my work no correct. Because I be sano in my 20s, meaning a business opportunity.
Okay.
But I messed it up. Why? Because it was just an idea. And it was a brilliant idea. But now me need business who need dear so much. So I took just the idea as business. And it was wrong.
Okay.
So to say it didn't work. You know, me started all right. But me started and I said it take you off no. Me be hit a wall. And at that point, na me I didn't know what to do. Until I mess it up.
Okay.
Because me started making decisions I was not supposed to make.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand. I didn't have business knowledge.
Okay.
And you know, once again, I think say AD in Napa. There are a couple of, and it's all about these values that we're talking about.
Okay.
But I say, they are not helping. In paying for no, they are not helping.
Okay.
And I mean, baby, I say, you know you.
Sure.
You know you.
Sure.
You know, you know you. Because and then as social media, you find, in fact, even the younger ones are going into business, or going into things, or failing, or subsidy, and now you have some of them come to social media to teach.
Yeah.
Listen, so person you say, which is a very good thing. But you won't pay 43 for people or my more. As I think by now, as I say, very open. Because now, if you go to any developed world, that is the system. That is the system. In fact, my research into this, you know, to deep research.
Okay.
Now, take a country like the US. You will see no more refugees like a kunsi baby, munya kwenya edi back room.
Sure.
But essence say no more system, you know. Most of these kids now are millionaires. Most of these kids are millionaires. Why? Because system na ya bato they apply themselves. And they had people teaching them what to do.
Okay.
In fact, it's almost like a public knowledge.
Sure.
And yet, fancy we will be fancy parking kind. And you really have people voluntary or more mobile out or more charadia. But I'm telling me go school, me go university. Now me wo professor be. Papa no adichire mo no me hu say papa we ni nim di owo no like obetimi aye normal p.
Okay.
Enti me bisa na say one day be e wo lab, na lab we be. And I'm bisa na say I don't know professor obe chira there. Because I'm curious like be say no say oh no yeah. No I don't know obe chira there na onko like the corporate way because minim say obe make yeah. Honestly no, I want to start here. But or realize it say onya fulfillment e wo.
Okay. That is on personal values.
Values. See, this is what we call I term it as calling. And it's no more about the money.
For him,
it's not about the money. Or no catch them say it's about the impact that he can make in the life of people. And no no share.
And he made an impact in you.
He made an impact on me. And then probably make even more money than him. So, but to him, no, it wasn't about the money. It was that the impact, he was looking at the impact of which me make it on my life. And he's hoping, sir, and that is the thing, what he told me. Sir, means no, so I miss meet me a and really, Zadiano, are still with me for a very long time.
So, yeah, the total and the environment I woman as Ghanaians, as Africans, Papa ne wo calling only values are obe abrogate calling no actually sika because sika ne bema.
Yeah.
Because of what some values in tea, or share say or be mental and crofo. Ye part of the world no. Omo mo wosoro ho ne susu say. Enkwala na wo form ho no enye serious. They don't have values that wo fan across a wo mentana. Ebe ma fulfillment and ebe putting the panel at a level abe hu so. I didn't just waste my time. I didn't just waste my resources. Inti edema grofo so beboa younger ones.
Nana eno no I feel say enye true statement.
Good.
Enye true statement because ade no mpanyinfo no say everything boils on leadership. So enurachi say I encountered something that, in fact, I was so sad for the whole day.
Kafra.
I was sad. Pa DAC, I was very, very sad. Nana mi ja abusuafo bi kwan omo kwa maname na nkura mienu ne omo maame. Na yedu immigration no. In fact, na mi dey nka me sign kra me ja omo na me hu so omo apagya omo nsa. Na me sign call back. Na omse dia banse na omse o enkura no omo papa efri oy American but ye won kura no wa ha ana omo atena ha fe na mra so say omo ko enti no omo kita American passport mama ne do kita Ghanaian passport na immigration omo me call mpanyinfo in fact mpanyinfo pa ana omo church mu say nkura na atena krom ha illegally. And I'm saying, here because Nkrano ya womo ha, and omukita Ghana birth certificate.
Sure.
And by virtue of that, they are still citizens.
Yeah.
And me sure say, no, I'm saying, but I think you validate you on more US passport. Which I didn't want to go into, or I'm saying, okay, more years, so what is the way forward? And I'm saying, it's your penalty. And I'm saying, okay, penalty. And I'm a pay scar to pay the penalty. Now, me treat a penalty, I was because Paying Pano made a statement, which for me it was sound. Say, omo your last check. If anybody is traveling, if there is an issue, omo your last check, and they try to make sure say answer will be free. Anything that is due Ghana government, the government gets it.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that I'm with that. Yeah, I'm with that. And to me, cheers, and I was expecting say they will issue me a receipt. But guess what? Sikano yadi share drawer mo.
Penalty no.
Yes. Yadi share drawer mo. And I was even saying once again, na say ade we say a system say me kutu ama cashier bi. Enya immigration payimu ena oti airport ejiji sika. So this is my point. Just imagine, say, you have a young immigration officer, Ebiako immigration, and this is the practice. It's coming from the top.
So now I get you from the top, and I'll say, the top say if there is a failure, a systematic failure, from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. Steve Jobs can say be, and also build Apple, or can say he realized that listen, if you get the top straight, the bottom will align. The down will align.
So now the top, what do the top do to help the down? Instead of always saying they lack values, which is true, they lack values. Now who caused some?
Exactly, yeah.
So what is expected from the top so that it may descend to the down? For these young ones, they are the future of the country, future of the family, in fact, future of the world, to get them on the right path. Yeah,
Nana, I think, sir, one of the biggest channel for us, is the church. You see, but unfortunately, the church has not been that different from the world. In fact, the church is part of our problem in this country. The church, I mean, maybe globally, but they are narrowing it to Ghana. The church is part of the problem. Because another one, so what to boase, na usua tronkonkron na, which I have read the Bible, you know, I have read the Bible, but until say maybe by me questions and me wono, I took it to myself and me pen no. It was when this my whole understanding a bit open up, and then I saw said idea ye and yes I netia say a very practical. For so long in a church settings, you know, you're not abstract. See, the church has operated in a very abstract
way.
You know, akra no kwa asoro kra na ye kan asem kra na oba, you see, the moment to be free asoro no, or go back into the community. What the setup of the community is different from what he heard.
Yeah.
Ensinke, very, very difficult. But here is even the most, this is the kicker of it all. Coming back to community, I am sorry for an answer to community. No.
Of course. Now he a free class. Community me a free class.
So this is what for me is for so long messed me up.
The community.
As a young man in the church. Because going to church, you hear one thing. You come back to the community, you come back to the same people that went to church. But the lifestyle and everything is different.
So when we get to church, hypocrisy, pretense, this is right. This is supposed to be the right thing. Into yate.
But that is not what we do.
Practice.
Yeah. Say a babaka. That so into for instance, me bad boy. Me there was some house rules. For instance, TV share. During weekdays, school days, no TV.
Okay.
Now it means so me my share say and says watch TV. I have to lead by that example.
Okay.
And which means me so weekdays, you know, me share TV.
So how do you get information? Because a source of information.
So here's the thing. Weekends. No. Set media sebi me adwuma me to computer. So I can get all that.
Yeah.
You know, for our phone. You know, our phone and our laptop, school adwuma and all that. But now here's the thing. I'm trying to get him to focus. I'm trying to teach him how to focus. Because one of the issues with the youth is a distraction. See, they are so distracted.
Oh, yes.
There is no focus. They are so distracted. And this one said they are distracted, you know, they don't take their time to understand. And now let's even go back to the values, because I don't want to forget about this. I feel, one of a normal ADA
understand. Okay.
You know, say I'm paying for some okay. And I say, you see, what is money? Because your chrome I mean, money is important. But now what is money? See, money is a byproduct of value.
Money
is a byproduct of value. Baby, a value will be
wealth.
And you know, as a people, that should be our focus.
So say ye lack our values now. We shouldn't expect wealth.
No, it's not coming. Nentia sabi ye too good, free form. Nasika nipa I mean ye tikroma ye hune ekoso. Adentia because of the value of God. Because of that, so ye nim say once we get it out, automatically money is coming.
Money.
Yeah, you make money. So we need to build that same as I say, you build it our community, our country. That is how we have to build it. And if you go to any developed country, that is how they have built it. And it just said, "Obi betimi free Ghana, Ako, Singapore, and whatever." At the moment you settle in that community or that culture, you have to imbibe by their values.
Yeah.
And by the virtue of that, you begin to gain something.
A lot need to be done. Adwuma wo ye ho. Say yan hwe yi a, ye be quick to accuse or point fingers at this generation and the current generation yi ho, without giving them the reason to survive.
Yeah.
The blame game must stop. And that is what we are here to change. And talk life, you say no and live well. Matter day for TMC Fashion Center, one year day talk life free bro. In recent times, that's where we are. At Adebia for every occasion, unisex, we do it. For church, special occasions, events, or your office, or even the casuals, talk to TMC Fashion via these numbers. We have you covered. Me power needs. Na saying namwa hoden no ene ye Sackman logo. I use the Vero generators. They give me power. The national grid failure. The Vero will never fail me. Me your band me no yogurt. Enti one yogo and I'm the refreshment. Ensio. Eba nsuya de me no me kwasha ice natural mineral water. Blessing home. Estate. Obwa. Emma yetimi. Enya baby pa. Edietito. Droply, right up. You better come very soon. Talk live, say no and live well. In the next episode, you better and so how best and that you better bring it the values out to create the wealth and to make environment serene for all of us. But that's it.